Some of you might be aware I've already done a video covering the Intel and Moonshine scav case, but with Found and Raid Fleer got me thinking about how important these are to you. So today we're going to be talking about what you can expect from these cases and some recommendations in the hideout to make the best of this upcoming wipe. So obviously first we're going to cover what is the scav case. The scav case is a little box here in your hideout in which you can have multiple different options where you can send out a scav on a specific timer for a specific amount of money for a random return. Now I've already done a video covering Intel a little bit more in depth and also Moonshine, but for the sake of time we're not going to go through every single one of these. But first, most importantly, is how do you get the scav case? I think one of the most important resources a new player can have is the wiki. If you go to the Tarkov wiki, link provided down below, and then go towards the hideout, you can actually find absolutely everything you need to know about the hideout. The first thing you're going to figure out on the wiki that you need is 2 bronze lions, 2 gold skull rings, 6 golden neck chains, 3 rollers, and level 2 intelligence center. And then from here, you can find out to get level 2 intelligence center, you're going to need 3 folder with intelligence, 3 secure flash drives, power cord, and once you get all of this out of the way, and you get absolutely everything you need for the scav case, which is a lot of work, by the way, that's when you can start really reaping the reward. So you may have just built the scav case, you're still wondering what option to run. I'm going to show you guys some screenshots of both Moonshine and Intel scav case runs so you can get an idea of what to expect. So what I want you guys to notice about some of these is that a lot of them have been picked. I haven't gone ahead and done every single Moonshine in a row. But you're going to notice that I'm just showcasing some of the things you can get from Moonshine. A lot of things like the tank batteries and also a few things that you need for tasks along the way. Understand that anything that you find within the Moonshine scav case will be found in Raid. And I think that's the best part about this. You're not always going to make your money back, and sometimes you're going to straight up just get absolutely scammed. But the truth is, anything from this scav case is found in Raid, which means even if you don't want it or you don't want to use it for a task, you'll be able to list it on the flea market. And I think that's what really makes this thing really important. Now, although I've done a separate video on Intel, the thing with Intel that you guys also need to understand is a lot of the time the Intel scav case will involve a lot of keys. I've noticed there's been a lot of flash drives and random keys that you need for tasks. You can also find a lot of good stuff like graphics cards if you're lucky, and some important tech items. But really the emphasis on the Intel scav case is keys. So if you need quest keys and you're having a hard time getting your hands on them, if you have this scav case, make sure to run them. Once again, anything from this Intel scav case will be found in Raid. So you'll be able to sell a lot of these quest keys if you do not need them. And I think that's the best part about this option, especially if you are chasing these keys for tasks, especially since they're going to be very, very expensive with this upcoming wipe. So I know a lot of you are probably thinking about how expensive Moonshine and Intel scav cases can be, but the truth is you have to have a cycle of efficiency within your hideout. An example would be the water collector. Now every time you go ahead and find some of these water filters, which you can find plentifully in the back of Ollie, you can make about 2.5 waters per filter. Now you get 1 water every 5 hours and 25 minutes. So then you take said water and then you feed it directly into your booze generator. And as you can see, I've done 2 sugars, 1 purified water for a Moonshine, and then I'm going to start another one. You can also find a lot of sugar in Raid. There's a lot of places in also Shoreline, Reserve, Labs, and many other maps where you can find plentiful amounts of sugar. So we're going to take the Moonshine that I just got out of that box, and I'm going to feed it straight into the scav case. Now, another great way to save money on the Intel scav case option is to find the intelligence folders yourself. Places like Reserve, there can be plentiful spots to be found on some of these locations across the map. You can find these in some decent rooms, and if you want to know what rooms, I have a separate guide covering that. I'll put the link for that in the description down below. Now, obviously, Reserve's not the only map where you're going to find intelligence, but it's definitely the map that has the least amount of risk, with also a large amount of intelligence spawns, unlike its counterpart, Labs. So if you are looking for intelligence, you can find them here, feed them straight into your scav case, and maybe get lucky and get your hands on an expensive key. Obviously, remember though that these are rare spawns, so you're not always going to find them every single time that you check. So ultimately, what's the big difference between Intel and Moonshine? Well, the truth is, Moonshine gives a large premise towards gaining task items in game. A lot of the time, you're going to see a lot of seemingly useless items that don't sell for much to therapists, but are worth a fortune on the flea market because they're needed for multiple parts within the hideout or for barter trades. A lot of the preference in the Moonshine scav case options are going to be things like paracord, Shostrillo, corrugated hose, heaps of different items that are going to fetch a lot of money that you need. So when running the Moonshine scav case, especially if you need things for the Kappa container found in Raid, or anything like paracord, or anything that you need like an OFZ or a Sten, this is the perfect option for you. So what's the go with Intel then? Well, the thing with Intel is it's a large premise towards keys. A lot of the items that you're going to notice that come from the Intel scav case are going to be really key focused. There's going to be a lot of keys and a lot of intelligence based options. You're going to be gaining a lot of things like some random starter guns, which is a lot of the return that you get, like the AKM and a lot of SVDs and other quest guns. I have noticed that it's a random mix between a few guns and a specific amount of keys. And sometimes you get really lucky on the keys and other times you get useless custom keys. So if you need absolutely any key or anything like a flash drive, the intelligence scav case option is the way to go. And if you're incredibly lucky, you may be able to get an intelligence folder back as a return in your intelligence option. Hey guys, that's it for this video. If you enjoyed this in absolutely any way, you know what to do. Make sure you hit that like and subscribe button. It helps me out a ton. And as always, if you have any questions about anything I talked about here today, feel free to swing by my Twitch. I stream 5 days a week on Twitch. The link for that will be featured down below. And as always, we'll see you on the next one.